I'm just gonna get ready in this video, and then I'm just gonna basically be talking about what's going on and not be doing a super complicated look, so it should be pretty short, but I'm just gonna do a little update because I did start doing Vlogmas and obviously that has not been consistent. So I'm gonna explain that. So obviously most of you know I have videos up, which will be linked. My hair is in a mess today, which will be linked if you haven't seen those yet, and in the description. But I made some videos talking about that I am adopted and that I had to give up my baby for adoption. And when I was filming those videos, her dad was actually in the room for most of it. We didn't live together, we weren't together at the time. He was in the room for most of it, and I felt like I couldn't say what I really wanted to say. And as you obviously saw, he's in prison. For those who don't know or didn't watch the videos, I am a recovering addict, and my kid's dad was also. I thought he had relapsed, and I didn't know until he got arrested. And so when I was filming those videos, he was using in my bedroom and I didn't know. His drug of choice was meth, which, you know, that's illegal. I did give everything that I found in my apartment after he was arrested to the police. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the last couple months that I haven't really talked about other than a couple of posts. But basically, those videos, I didn't feel like I could say what I really wanted to. They make it sound like it was my decision and like it was a thing I wanted to do, but really it was, I felt like I didn't have a choice, both because of pressure from my kid's dad and from the other people we were around, which, you know, not that he let me talk to a lot of people, but the few people that I could. It was a very messed up relationship, and like looking back on it, I think it's very obvious that he had relapsed, but I was so busy trying to figure out what to do when I was pregnant about the kid and about money, and then after working on getting a job and getting stable again, because I was actually homeless when I was pregnant. Which was because of him. I just didn't know that at the time. So most of the information in those videos, as far as my experience with how it went and the grieving process, you know, that's all accurate. But as far as like how the decision was made, I feel like that doesn't really show all of what was going on, because if I would have talked about it while he was here, he would have yelled at me, he would have broke my phone, he would have told me not to post it, or he would have said, fine, post it, and then blamed me for him relapsing, because he threatened to do that a lot. And so at some point I'm going to make a video talking about everything that happened. But I'm going to script it. It's going to be very detailed. I'm going to go into a lot of detail about what was going on while I was pregnant, mostly. Because not a lot of people know. There's a couple of my friends and family that know, but most people had no idea, and they thought we were just cute, happy little couple. And it was actually terrifying the whole time. But I wasn't allowed to talk about that. There's one post I have on my Facebook page, and I think right now it's set to friends only, that kind of just listed off all the stuff that happened. And that was before he got arrested, but I had filed a police report against him for trespassing and harassment. And someone that I thought was a friend sent him that post, basically saying that I shouldn't be talking about him like that. I believe it is a person he was using with, but I'm not sure. But anyways, he told me to take the post down. He got really angry, all that stuff. So I couldn't really get away from him until he was arrested. So that's why I'm talking about it now. But that's why I haven't been able to be consistent with uploads. Like, I've also not been posting as much on my other social medias, except about my music. Because all I want to post is that. Like, all I want to talk about is, oh, I can finally say what actually happened to me and how scared I was the whole time and all that stuff. But I also don't want to... I don't want to think about it, to be honest. Because a lot of the stuff I was being lied to about, I just found out in the last month or so. And it was a whole 180 from what I had thought was going on. It's like, I'm having a lot of PTSD issues right now. He also managed to somehow convince my therapist that I was abusing him. So I don't have anyone like professionally to talk to right now. And so I'm on different medication now just to be able to manage symptoms until I can find somebody to talk to. But I'm barely sleeping, so I'm just exhausted all the time. I know he's in jail. I know he's going to be transferred to prison and probably be there for a long time. But I still think, like, every time I hear a noise that it's him and he's in my apartment and he's gonna hurt me. Because, oh, I should probably say this. The title isn't clickbait. The reason he's in prison is because he stabbed his dealer. And then that was also a revocation on his other charges. And I had said in one of the videos, like on a little sidebar, that I wasn't going to talk about his charges for his privacy. I can now, but I'm going to do it in the scripted video that I'm planning. Because I want to talk with his, his family and make sure that I'm not overstepping their boundaries by talking about it. Because he lied to them too, of course. That's what addicts do when they're using. You just lie about everything all the time. I just don't understand that, because when I was still struggling with addiction, most of the time I would just avoid somebody if I knew I was keeping something hidden from them. I wouldn't even try to make up a story. But Alex just made up stories all the time, so yeah, I haven't been able to really process any of that. I've just been constantly working pretty much. And then the last week here, I've gotten so burnt out and I've barely been able to work. Pretty much just sleeping all day. My heart problem came back because I have been having like constant adrenaline rushes from, thinking I'm hearing sounds, like doors opening scares me because I think he's coming up here. Or if I hear people yelling outside my apartment, I think he's here. So then I just like jump up scared. And my heart problem came back because of it. So I was in the ER at one point, which I posted about on Snapchat. So like if you want more frequent updates on what I'm doing, Snapchat is where I'm most active just because it's easiest to use. I don't have to plan things out in advance or edit anything. But yeah, I have been dealing with a lot of stress because I genuinely am just scared. Right now, his bond is 10 grand cash only. So unless he somehow convinced his mom to like mail a wad of cash across the country, he's not going to get out. But I have to deal with the, like having flashbacks of all the stuff he did. So it's really hard right now for me to focus or even like get out of bed or leave the house to film videos. or like I have an album that I'm working on that has just been pretty much on pause for the last 2 weeks because I can't sit still and be quiet long enough to record. And I kind of have a show in 6 weeks, so I need to at least record demos, you know, to use. And I just haven't been able to do it because I've been so sleep deprived and stressed and just restless. Like I was living with some, it's literally like you'd think you'd be relieved after the person is away from you, but I was living with somebody that could have stabbed me and I had no idea. And it wasn't just, I don't know how to say just a normal stabbing, but you know, like he's 6'4", he's pretty big, and he stabbed a guy in the chest, so it was pretty intense, you know? And all I can think about is if I had gone there that night to see if he was okay, because he was saying he was having seizures and the police were there and blah, blah, blah. All I could think was, it could have been me. And it's really hard to think about that, especially knowing that I was pregnant and vulnerable and alone in the middle of nowhere, you know, with a person who could have killed me anytime they were pissed off. So my initial thought process was, oh, I'll just jump into content creating because it'll take my mind off of it. I'll be able to focus on something that makes me happy and be able to promote my music and all that stuff. And all it's really done is make me really stressed and put a bunch of pressure on myself when I barely have energy to like do my job, because I still have a day job for now. All it's really done is put pressure on me to do extra stuff on top of that I really don't have the energy to do because I'm grieving so many things. Like, this is the person I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and he's probably going to spend a good chunk of the rest of his life in a box for all his charges. And I don't have my child, and I'm not allowed to see her right now, because the adoptive parents saw my videos and decided to take them personally. So I'm grieving a lot of things right now, and I thought that if I just jumped into creating constantly, it would take my mind off of it, but it's also caused me to not be able to keep up with things I need to keep up with, as far as like cleaning and bills and whatever. So I've decided not to keep going with daily videos right now. Plus, like, honestly, I don't know that it makes that much of a difference algorithm-wise. I think it's more shorts anyways, and those are way easier to make. I used to hate doing it, and now it's like a part of my daily routine. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm just trying to like process everything that happened because, you know, it's kind of strange to wake up one day and call a police officer and hear that your ex-fiance is in prison for attempted murder. That's not something you just hear every day. So I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that, and I don't think I handled it the best way by just trying to ignore it. Like, I don't want to think about it every second of every day, but I can't force myself to burn out, basically, trying to avoid it. So I don't want to relapse, you know. I went to treatment when I was 23, and I have no intention of going through that again. And I have almost died multiple times because of my addiction. I have no interest in doing that again. As I mentioned in I think it was the second video. I might have mentioned it in both the first 2 videos. My birth mom died of a heroin overdose, and I was constantly afraid that I would end up like her. And now I'm even more so because I know exactly how she must have felt. So I have no intention of doing that because every day I wish I could talk to her because I never got a chance to before she died. And I don't want that to happen to my child. So I need to focus on just work and music right now and not so much on content creating outside of like what I would already be doing, because I don't have the energy. So I started writing a new song about it just because it comes more naturally to me. I've been writing music since I was in like 7th grade or 6th grade. So I think that'll help me be able to process it more. And I've already had positive feedback on like the little snippet I posted. So just because like I know it's about this situation, but anybody who's gone through like the loss of a child or a strained parent-child relationship would be able to relate to it, I think. So I finished writing the lyrics. I'm gonna start working on that because I think that'll be more productive for me as far as grieving goes. Because that's my whole thing, is like I like to... Can you not scratch my couch, please? You got the whole chair over there. Go. Go. I think it'll help me process everything to just write a song about it, as opposed to trying to ignore it, run away from it. Because I don't remember if I talked about that in the videos, but I did that with my miscarriages. I just ran away from it. I never talked about it for a really long time. And then once I ever opened up about it, it just spiraled, and that was what really, really started my addiction. Well, being more severe, I should say. Like, I've had problems since I was about 12, but it got really bad when I was 21, because that was the first time I ever talked about my first miscarriage. And then I had another one after I went to treatment. So I kind of learned the hard way. Running away from that stuff does not work for me. And I have no intention of going back to that place. So I am really gonna focus on my music, obviously, since I have a show coming up. And then I'm really going to focus on just daily self-care stuff, cleaning, working at least 4 hours a day, like my real job, and making sure that I take care of myself. I have to be on medication for a while for my heart problems, stuff like that. You know, I don't want to overextend myself anymore because it hasn't been helping like I thought it would. It actually makes it worse. Can that stay there? Because then it's really hard for me to sleep, and sleep deprivation can trigger manic episodes. I'm on medication for that, but like when it's something that isn't just brain chemistry and it's a real thing that happened, like in my case, an abusive relationship, and then finding out that this person is just as, because I always feared that he would hurt me, but to know for a fact that it was actually an option is terrifying. To have it confirmed. Medication can't really fix that, Medication can't fix actually being scared of someone that you used to love. Medication can't fix grieving a loss. So I don't want to make that problem worse by just trying to push everything down. And then, not sleeping and ending up in a worse position. So yeah, I just wanted to say that because I pretty much made a big deal about like, oh, I'm going to do Vlogmas for the first time in like 7 years, and then I just haven't been able to do it. That's why. It's not because I don't care. It's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I got bored. I have like a whole calendar on a whiteboard planned out of videos, and I just haven't been able to do it. So I'm going to try to do some of them just because they're like ones that I wanted to do anyway. Like I'm getting a tattoo soon, maybe do a video about that, stuff like that. But as far as doing stuff every day, that's not going to be able to happen because I'm just... This is why I never wear lipstick. Making videos every day just isn't going to be able to happen because I am way too burnt out and I need to work. And then this weekend, it was already bad enough because I got a new phone, which is actually what I'm using to record right now, but it might not activate until tomorrow afternoon. And my job requires to have cell phone service. So I literally just haven't worked this weekend, which sucks because normally it'd be like 10-hour days. So I just really need to focus on that for now, and music, and not worry so much about like keeping up with the trend that honestly isn't very popular anymore. So yeah, hey, stop scratching my couch. So yeah, I'm just going to focus on those two things for now. This video will go up when it goes up, probably Tuesday. I'm filming it on Sunday, and then I'm just going to be very limited on what I'm doing on social media. Make sure that it's relevant, make sure it's stuff that's easy for me to do, just so I'm not burning out, because that would just make it worse. But yeah, don't date stabby people. I don't know. Like I said, if you haven't watched my adoption series, that will be in the cards and in the description. And if you want more information on the situation before I make a video about it, you can follow me on Facebook. I posted about it, or I talk about it on Snapchat sometimes. I'm on there constantly, so that's probably the best one. And I'm going to go back to just probably posting once a week on here for now. But thanks for all the support, and yeah, I don't know what else to say.